Probably Indian knowledge system can offer low-cost solutions to many of the corporate problems. Majority of the cases, people are confused. What next? What is important is developing a clarity of thought. AI is trying to copy how the human brain works.
Hello, this is Anushree Bhoware and you're watching Corporate Citizen Conversations. A fulfilling career doesn't just come from chasing titles or ticking boxes. It starts with knowing yourself. Meet Dr. Shrikant Kallurkar, CEO, Level Up Pune, a seasoned researcher, mentor and career coach with over 4 decades of experience, from guiding 23 PhD scholars to integrating Vedic wisdom into modern career coaching. His story is one of depth and purpose. Welcome to our show, sir. It's great to have you here. So, first thing first, I'd like to ask you is you work with a lot of mid-career professionals. In your experience, what usually causes people to feel stuck at that stage, and how do you help them move forward?
Generally, mid-career means the people in the age group of 30 to 50, 55, where a person has worked for at least 5 to 7 years, 10 years time. So what happens? I'll give an example straight. You would have heard the name Shrikant Kallurkar, IPS, who was the chief of ATS of Mumbai. Unfortunately, he was killed by the terrorists in Mumbai. So once I had invited him to talk to the engineering college students. Why engineering students should choose IPS as the career. So he himself was a mechanical engineer. And he said his story. And this is the way people generally select the career. He said, when I got good marks in 10th, everyone said that going to science is the way. So I went for 11th, 12th science. Then everyone said going for engineering or medical is the choice. So I went for engineering. Mechanical was in the demand, so I did mechanical engineering. Then again everyone says that if you are an engineer with flying colors, you should go for post-graduation in management. So I went for Delhi Productivity Council, post-graduate diploma in management. And he got a good job in a MNC. Having a flat in place like area like Juhu, company, chauffeur-driven car, life was very safe, one of the best. But he was always thinking that I am not getting something which I want. And then there was an advertisement of UPSC. He wrote the exam and got selected in IPS. In fact, that time the salary of SP was 1/3 of the salary that he was drawing in the MNC. So everyone in the family was unhappy. Taking a job on 1/3 of the salary every 3 years, a transfer, and all this. But then it happened in his personal case that his wife was going from Mumbai to Nasik Police Training Center on one of the weekends, and there was a train derailment. And railways had organized bus because it was a short distance train. So they had organized buses. So whichever place you want to go, the buses will drop. And there was a police asking. So when she was asked, she said, I want to go to the police training center. And he said, why? My husband is undergoing a training. MPS. First thing, she got a salute. He called his boss. Again the boss gave a salute. And a special vehicle with escort was arranged so that she can reach to the salute. And there is in different professions, either you get more money, more status, some opportunity to work in the interest of society at large. So what is important is we undergo an who am I exercise. What is that which makes me happy? Is it more money? Is it more status? Is it working in the interest of society? Is it working hours, workplace relationships? What is important? One can try to develop a formula of professional satisfaction and then think of a career which will satisfy that. So generally, reward of success in a chosen career and formula of your professional satisfaction, if the mapping is around 70%, there are chances that you will be successful in your life.
Sir, you talk about creating custom career paths for individuals. What does that actually look like in practice?
Custom career path means the career that suits you. So what we recommend is that first try to develop the formula of professional satisfaction. But that is there only for next 5 to 10 years. Because, take an example, a child, 5 years old child, the child is given a Cadbury chocolate, child will start jumping, showing the happiness. Chocolates are good as the gifts at every age. But if a chocolate is given to a person at the age of 25, 30 or 40 years, he will be happy but will not be jumping like that child. So the definition of satisfaction also keeps on changing. So it is good that at every phase I undergo this. So what happens, generally people in mid-career feel that whatever I have done probably was not the thing I should have done. And then majority of the cases people are confused. What next? What is important is developing a clarity of thought. What is that I am good at? What is that I can be more satisfied? Which field? And then choosing a new direction in the career. That's what a mid-career executive needs.
Sir, your background is in technical entrepreneurship. How has that shaped your approach to coaching and leadership?
See, technical entrepreneurship is doing something with risk and unique way. Now that unique way will be based on what is that I am good at than others. So what is important is SWOT analysis. We generally do the SWOT analysis for the organizations, departments and workplace. But it is good to have a SWOT analysis of self. And I have seen in Indian context, when we ask our clients to do the SWOT analysis, people remember their strengths, but when it comes to weaknesses, it's difficult. And I have seen one more thing, maybe because of the social trend or patterns, that generally women talk more about the weakness than the men. But in both the cases, truly speaking, it's a weakness. Because thinking too much of the weakness and not realizing the strengths is also not that good. And same thing, the vice versa. So what is important is we do develop a formula of your professional satisfaction, do the SWOT analysis, if possible ask our AI, any tool, maybe ChatGPT, that with these things, which are the professions more suitable for you. And then maybe that you will find that ChatGPT or any AI tool will give you so many other options which you have not thought of also. And then maybe you can manually select few of them and start working for them. What is important is that how can I have a value addition, whatever I am doing. Here we have developed a formula of value is equal to function divided by cost.
Can you explain that?
Yeah. I am appointed in any organization for doing certain jobs, certain functions. The functions can be primary, secondary, tertiary. Take an example of a college. A teacher is appointed to teach. But the secondary function could be do research and consultancy. The tertiary function could be help the top management of the organizations to get more and better students. Or help the organization to improve the image of organization in the society at large. And now these are the tertiary functions. In fact, IIT Roorkee has accepted this definition. And one of the NPTEL program is based on this, where they talk about other research also. So what is important is that I understand function, value is equal to function divided by cost. If I am in entrepreneurship, then I can think of reducing the cost also. But if I am in a job, I don't want to reduce on my salary. So what is important is I increase on my functional capabilities. More I increase the functional capabilities, better is my suitability to the organization. What is important is I do understand in which kind of functions I can contribute more. And then concentrate on that. And try to carve out a niche area of my career path. That's it. And in that niche area, you can progress better than others.
Sir, how does your coaching approach change when you're working with senior personnel, professional, or versus the young professional?
Senior professions, they already have a vision. And many times I found that if they are in the higher age group, the concepts are crystallized. It is difficult to change them. But when I was working with, as far as the 5 Vedic laws of success, what I am working, which talks about 10x growth in 10 years' time. That's basically, that is the philosophy, and which comes from Atharva Veda. Atharva Veda says, how should be the personality development and career path of an individual? Might be in a different language. It says, Divancharoha, Prithvincharoha, Rashtancharoha, Devadancharoha, Prajancharoha, Mrutancharoha, Rohitena Tanvam Samrushas. Let sky be the limit of your growth. Think of conquering the whole world. Develop the right kind of people around you. But while doing all these things, make sure that you are walking on the path of spiritual growth also for yourself. That is nothing but peace and prosperity, enjoying simultaneously. How to do that? Bhagavad Gita says, Yajnadan tapa karma na tyajyam karmevatat, yajnadanam tapa karma pavadani manishikam. Now, in nutshell, the management philosophy had its roots in division of labor concepts, which came from F.W. Taylor. So most of the industrialization was based on that. Then came Japanese philosophy, where people talked about Kaizen, continuous improvement of the people with you. Now we want to recommend as an Indian model from IKS, managing self to manage the world. And managing self to manage the world is a key where your leadership will lead to legacy. And top people need to be developed in the way so that their leadership leads to legacy for others.
That's so great to hear, sir. I was about to ask you that same question. You often talk about 5 Vedic laws of success. So how does those ideas actually work in today's goal-driven corporate world?
Yes. See, what is important in corporate world is, one thing is relationship building and networking. Okay. How can a man networking will be marching towards net worth? Okay. Now for that, I'll give you an example straight. One of my clients from New York, he's an IT professional, he was asked to develop a dashboard for the company. In 6 months he developed a dashboard. Then he was asked to train the people who will be using that dashboard. So he was deputed to Rochester, first training that he provided, to train about 4 IT professionals in the same company. They employ about 2,000 people in about 25 countries. When he went there, he called me, said, "Sir, I have come to Rochester. Here everyone is saying I don't have time. Maybe we'll see tomorrow. I am here on deputation for 4 days. I have to train them. People are not giving me the time." We have discussed the concept of dhan, sharing the assets with the feeling of humility. Everyone was given $100 for lunch. And generally the cost of lunch, normal lunch would be around $20 US. So he also had received his $100. He remembered that. And he did his PhD from Rochester University, so he was knowing the city confidence, so he could just take a car from the airport. So when he said it was lunchtime, everyone said, okay, well, let's go together for lunch. He said, today let me invite you for the lunch from my end. How will we go? He said, I have a car, so we'll go together only. So all the five, they went together. After coming back, the relationship was different. So sharing the assets of feeling of humility, that is nothing but the concept of dana, which I can practice in day-to-day life, and his training was over because the people started cooperating. So networking is important, relationship is enhanced. So that's the benefit of using 5 laws of success in today's corporate world.
Okay. Sir, tell our viewers about the story behind Level Up Pune. What inspired you to start it and how has it grown since then?
Thank you. In fact, I was a professor, teacher in the engineering college for 21 years, and for almost 20 years I was a principal of different engineering colleges, busy with administration. I had done my PhD in technical entrepreneurship from IIM Mumbai, that time it was MITI. I came across certain qualities of people which makes them successful entrepreneurs, for which the training method was not available. So I thought that why not I develop, as the next part of the PhD work, postdoc, why don't I develop a training based on them? So I was searching here and there almost for 1 or 2 years. At that time, for our spiritual center at Akkalkot, I thought that whatever research methodology I have learned, let me apply there. So we tried to understand what drives the people to perform Agnihotra, a daily morning ritual, sunrise, sunset morning ritual. And we collected data from 150 people, did a factor analysis which is used in market research also. And we found that the results that were there were what I was looking for. So on one hand, in one research, my PhD work was also sponsored by MHRD fortunately. So in one research, we raised some issues, and another research, we found that the issues can be resolved. So I got a training methodology. I thought that if I develop a training methodology based on this philosophy of Yajnadana Karma Swadhyaya, which comes from Bhagavad Gita, probably I am able to develop the qualities like nerve power, strong willpower to succeed, and few more things. So we developed that, and after retirement I was truly speaking, I was getting bored. So naturally, like all others, I asked ChatGPT 3 times. What should I do? How can I keep myself busy so that I will not get bored? And one common answer ChatGPT gave me was, I have completed 23 PhD and plus my own doctoral research and postdoctoral research. So ChatGPT said, why don't you think of commercializing any one of the researches? So I thought, then I started looking which one I can, and probably I thought that the one I worked for my postdoc research, I can think of commercializing that or making it suitable for others. So that was the starting of Level Up. So we launched a company, partnership firm, and we are now training the people, especially mid-career executives who are at confused stage. What I have done, was it wrong, right? And what I should do in next 20 years time. So we try to recommend them getting 10x growth. So that New York student, when he started, he was a team leader of 3. Now he is team leader of 16 members, and the dashboard that he developed is used by about 1,000 employees. He is now prepared to be the next chief privacy officer of the company in next 2 to 3 years time.
Sir, what do you think about career guidance coaching? Will it look like in coming years, especially with the advent of AI and post-pandemic changes?
So post-pandemic, what we have learned from pandemic is importance of digitalization. Because I need not be present everywhere but still I can have a proper way of communication and working. Work from home concept came more popular after pandemic. So pandemic has given us the importance of digitalization and making use of internet. Fortunately, I'll give my example. When I was a principal, first I was exposed to the concept of e-learning in 2003 in Germany, and then I attended that conference called Online Educa Berlin. Every year it is there in 2007, with the intention that I will bring something for the college I was heading. And from there, I was convinced that internet-based learning, anytime, anywhere, learning for any purpose is the future of learning. And fortunately, now the new education policy has given emphasis on that. When we want to improve the gross enrollment ratio of higher education, presently it is 28%, we expect it to be 50% in another 7 years' time. What is important is people from different backgrounds come to us. So I was practicing virtual classroom and virtual lab facilities mandatorily in my college since last 2015. So when in 20 pandemic was there, all my students and teachers were already trained for online education. So what was important is that if you remember, on 20th of March 2020 the lockdown was announced. In the month of April 2020, my teachers had 1000 hours of theory and 700 hours of practicals. By everyone at home. So now what is important is that pandemic has taught us importance of digitalization and we are working with that. And what AI is likely to take away is routine jobs. So that's the reason we are now saying that design thinking is important. It is being taught in all the courses. The first step of design thinking is empathy. Putting on the shoes of others to understand where it pinches. The artificial intelligence is taught to behave in different way or react in different way according to the emotions of the person. The latest in that. But it cannot have emotions on its own. It's a human being only who can have emotions and feelings. So when I understand, I practice more way of working based on my feeling, sixth sense. I will not be replaced by AI. Because AI is something which cannot do that. AI is trying to copy how the human brain works. But when my subconscious mind can get connect with the superconscious mind of the universe, and then I develop some creative ideas, this is something which AI can't. And when I do it, practice it more, and take my important decisions based on this, I will be able to supersede AI in all the time.
I think that's the biggest lesson that everyone wants to hear and need to learn. One last question, sir. Is there something about coaching that companies often overlook, but you think it is really important?
Companies
Overlook.
overlook.
Yeah.
One thing, many of the organizations have looked at CSR as because it is mandatory. One of my students, we did a research to connect CSR as a strategy of the organization and its connection with the profitability. Surprisingly, we found that good CSR policy, when it is part of the strategy of the organization, leads to enhancement in profitability. Now, what is important in given time is sustainable development. Because our few generations to come, if we just only think of profitability and business and do not care for the sustainable part of it, it's likely that human species will not exist. And if that happens, there is no point in doing all these things. So what is important, we are doing some research on especially different aspects of SDGs through ICAS. And we found that ICAS had solutions for air, water, soil pollution and even mind pollution. One of the surprising results we found was the bacterial count in environment and in water, pathogenic bacteria, gets reduced by adding the ash from certain yajna rituals. It improves the alkalinity of water. We are now working with the help of one engineering college to improve the potability of water using this, so that we will be able to offer a low-cost solution. Probably Indian knowledge system can offer low-cost solutions to many of the corporate problems that we are facing today.
Thank you so much, sir. This has been such a thoughtful conversation and inspiring as well. Thank you for sharing your journey and wisdom with us. That's all for today, guys.
Thanks for watching this show. Do like, share and comment on this video, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel Corporate Citizen Conversations.